Hi, I want to give you a heads up about a new charge you're going to see on your electric bill this month. That charge is tied to a bill that was passed by the Michigan legislature back in 2024 in lame duck. The actual bill number is PA 169 of 2024, and the bill essentially is designed to help fund energy assistance in the state of Michigan. The actual name of the bill is the Michigan Energy Assistance Program Act. So M.E.A.P is the acronym you'll hear us refer to it as. But basically what happens is we collect that $1.25, that all gets forwarded onto the state, and then the state uses it to administer energy assistance for income qualified homes. This is not an entirely new law. It's just new in this particular form. Historically, Cherryland had the ability to opt out of charging that charge, and we have chosen to do so. And there's a good reason for that. Let me start by saying I actually 100% support helping to offset the electric bills of the most vulnerable members in our community. Absolutely, hands down. And Cherryland has a long history of investing in programs that help some of our most vulnerable members. Things like low-income community solar, our priority home repair grant program, which helps make their homes more efficient, affordable, and safer to live in. All kinds of programs like that, supporting nonprofits that help people. So this is, in theory, something we've always supported. Well, the problem we had historically, though, is that we saw something that made us concerned. The dollar we would charge and send to the state wasn't getting returned back to the community. So we were essentially subsidizing bills somewhere else off of the backs of our members. And that was something we really weren't very comfortable with. So under the old bill, we had the option to opt out. One of the consequences of opting out is we were prevented from disconnecting members between November 1st and April 15th. And so that's why we've had a disconnect moratorium in the winter for the last decade. The new law makes some really important changes that I want to highlight. First, it no longer offers that kind of an opt-out provision. We are essentially opted in unless we are self-administering. That is something we're going to look at, but there's a lot of complexities with self-administration, so that's a topic for a different video. The other important change that it makes, though, is that it explicitly states that DHHS has a responsibility to make sure that the dollars that are collected in a community get returned back to that community. So it tries to close that subsidization loophole, something we absolutely support, but also something we're going to monitor very carefully on your behalf going forward, because there's an implied promise in that the dollar collected from you will get returned to you. And if it doesn't, you better believe we'll be sounding the alarm on that. The other important change it makes is it increases the income threshold, so more people will be eligible for energy assistance. But the kind of last piece that impacts us is we are no longer obligated to observe a disconnect moratorium in the winter. So this is something that is new to us, new to you, seeing it on your electric bill this September. You'll see it listed as the M.E.A.P 169-2024 compliance charge. I know, really complex, but that way you can go look at the bill yourself if you have any questions, and certainly follow up with your legislators if you have any questions. That charge will be $1.25 a month. Like I said, 100% of that gets forwarded onto the state, and the charge amount is actually determined by the state. So we have very little control over it. So I want to give you a heads up so that you know what to expect when you see this on your bill starting in September. Certainly, if you have any questions, you can ask us or reach out directly to your legislators. But I also just want to continue my promise to you, which is that we will advocate for energy solutions that serve our community, not just in theory, but also in practice. And we will watch this particular bill very carefully to make sure that those dollars flow back to the community.